シドニーさん日本語が上手なので、ぜひ日本語で自己紹介を。
大丈夫です。私はシロンです。リコニボイスとかなりスコの小学の教師です。2年前は日本に来ました。徳島県。
徳島県。
そう。徳島大学で日本語勉強してしました。日本語は難しいですが、でも面白いね。
面白い。
そう。これからナルト教育大学で数学を勉強してしました。
ナルト教育大学。
ナルト教育大学。そう。去年はマラウイに帰りました。
So when did you go back to Malawi?
March 29, last year, 2019. And I'm now back to teaching. At Yukino Nagai Sunday School.
I see. So how was your spending time in Japan?
Time in Japan was fun.
Fun.
At first, it was a problem. It was tough because of the language barrier.
Yeah.
But then after studying a little Japanese and understanding Japanese, then life started becoming quite interesting and quite fun.
Okay.
I really enjoyed my stay in Japan. A lot of things that I really liked in Japan that I feel Japan is really special because of those. I haven't traveled in quite a lot of countries around the world, but I think Japan is also special in one way or the other. Yeah.
Okay.
So I really liked my stay in Japan. It was really quite good.
Yeah. What is most impressive things in Japan?
The most important thing that I really liked in Japan is the safety.
Safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel like I just want to walk around, or maybe I just want to go and grab a cafe latte convenience. But it was so easy even at midnight. I just wake up, take my bicycle, I cycle, convenient. Yeah, so, and then I buy whatever I wanted without feeling insecure. That is the most important thing. There is even it was cold. It was very cold because the winters are so cold in Japan. So I had my wallet and I thought that I'm putting it in the pocket.
Okay.
But it slipped. It did not get in the pocket. It slipped on the floor.
Okay.
So I went.
Yes.
And I did not notice that I've lost it. It was around 2 a.m.
Okay.
So I lost it. In the morning I realized I've lost it. I asked friends, I said, no, just go to and report to a police station. To the police station to report. When I went there to report, somebody had already picked it and dropped it there. Everything was intact in my wallet. So I really liked it. And it was really an amazing experience for this. One of the safest countries in the world.
Yeah. But I know that Malawi is also a safety country comparing the other countries, especially in Africa.
Yeah, sure. Malawi is also one of the safest countries, the friendly people. When we see the foreigners, they are willing to help.
Yes.
Whenever we see foreigners, it's very good. I also really like my country, Malawi.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah. I found that all Malawians are welcome to others.
Yeah, sure.
Not so, how should I say, reject others.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very comfortable for me as foreigners.
Yeah. That's why we say Malawi, the warm heart of Africa.
Yeah.
So it's the warm heart. It's the heart is there to pump blood, but this one is the warm one. So it will not only pump blood, but bring warmth to the entire body. That's us, Malawians.
Yeah,
sure.
But so I think that the Japanese takes time for say good relationship.
Yeah, that's one of the things I found it tough in Japan because you can not like in Malawi. If we go a drinking joint, I just meet somebody, we can talk even for the first time. It's very easy for us. And if you don't talk to the people like that, maybe people may feel like, why is he not or she not talking to me? But in Japan it was slightly different because you cannot just meet people like maybe in the train, sit next to them and you start a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like that.
Yes, yes,
So that was one of the awkward moments that I may say I noted, but I understand the cultural differences.
Yes.
And that kind of situation fits very well in Japan. It looked maybe awkward for somebody.
So why did you decide to go to Japan as a student?
As a student, I went to Japan because at first I wanted to understand how best mathematics can be taught. But when I researched, I discovered that my area of concentration, which is like the use of mathematics to develop critical thinking skills in learners, I noted that Japan is like carrying out the same program much better. So I'm looking at the characteristic. A Japanese mathematics lesson has special features. For you to say, I have taught this lesson, there must be those special features and characteristics which you must ensure that you achieve. So when I looked at it, I noted that there is some kind of critical analysis on how mathematics has to be taught by the Japanese. Then I also looked at what is called the lesson study. So the lesson study is like a special way again as to how mathematics has to be approached, prescribed in the curriculum, in the syllabus. So I noted that I think Japan is doing this far much better. And then when the scholarship to study in Japan came my way, I said, this is now the opportunity. I've already liked the Japanese way of teaching mathematics because apart from what I've just mentioned, there is also how the Japanese volunteers who are involved in schools, how they perform in as far as teaching of mathematics is concerned. I was blessed because during my Sunday school days, I was taught by the two Japanese. When I was from 1 to from 3 by Mr. Katsuhito Aoki.
When is it?
That was from 1997 to 1999. Yeah. So Mr. Katsuhito Aoki, I tried to connect him, but I failed when I went to Japan. But he's from Aichi. So he taught us mathematics, and the way he was presenting his mathematics lesson was really kind of special. So I said, I think this is the way. So when I started teaching, I noted that I think there are challenges associated with the teaching of mathematics. So I really wanted to emulate how my Japanese teacher was performing. And on top of that, when Mr. Katsuhito Aoki had gone, there came Mr. Tanaka. Mr. Tanaka also continued, and it was really fun. When I went to college, I started with Domas College of Education. We also had Japanese volunteers. So every time I looked at Japanese, the way they carried out their duties, I was really impressed. So this impression I had, plus what I wanted to achieve, and how I had seen the Japanese achieving what I wanted to achieve, really bringing the curiosity in me to go and study in Japan. So it was really an honor that whatever I wanted to achieve, I've really achieved it by going to Japan.
So did you do the Japanese way in your school?
Yes. There are so many things that I learned, especially when I went to Naruto, because at Tokushima University it was just Japanese language. But then when we went to Naruto University, it's Naruto University of Education, Naruto Kyoiku Daigaku. So, it's really a university of education, where everything that they do is about education. So we learned quite a lot of things as to how learners can be taught, maybe using the materials, not just by the weight of the mouth, not just by putting them into groups, but what kind of materials can we use to help the learners, and how can we enable the learners develop the very same material. So as the learners are developing the materials that we want to use to teach them, they are also developing that thinking capability. Because when you develop the material and you use the same material to teach them, they are able to understand the material because it's the material that they developed themselves. So it's really fun. They are learning and how to develop the material, and on top of that, they are also learning mathematics using the same kind of materials that they developed themselves. So it's really quite fun, and it's also easy on the part of the teacher. It doesn't put the teacher under much pressure, to prepare a lot of stuff, because the students are involved with themselves to help you prepare the lesson.
Yes. Yeah. So in the future, I'd like to see your classroom and what kind of you do in classroom.
Sure. No problem. You're welcome.
Yes.